What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another post game here on Rangers Central. And the Rangers win 5-2 over the New York Islanders. And when I say this game was predictable to me, they might be understating how I felt, which I will get to in a minute. But before we jump into everything, please be sure to leave a like on the post game if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live on the channel. Like I said, to say this was predictable is an understatement, considering this interaction with friend of the program, Carson, occurred last night when Laviolette was talking about how they need to be better, and I quote tweeted that. He said, "A 5-goal performance against a depleted and dead inside Islanders team will fix this. Fasten your seatbelt, friends." Of course, saying that sarcastically. And I said, replying, "Can't wait for 2 of those goals to be off skates and 1 to be an empty netter so I could go streaking like they won the Stanley Cup." Pretty much sums up exactly how it went. The only thing inaccurate about that is one of the goals went off of an ass instead of a skate. But I digress. The Rangers end up getting 2 points here today, and I don't know, just more of the same. The only thing that I feel differently about, and the only thing that I don't know if I feel good about it, because I don't know if Laviolette's going to roll with the same lineup next game, but Zach Jones being back in there was a drastic difference to the bottom pair, and I think this sums up and justifies what I've been saying for weeks now, that I do think Victor Mancini should be spending time in Hartford to let him get the minutes instead of, I don't know why I just started dying there. Instead of sitting in the press box, when you have a more than capable defenseman, that is, in Zach Jones, who was sitting in the press box and is playing at the level he is when he's in the lineup. And the only other thing I feel good about is the fourth line continues to be unbelievable. I think the fourth line yet again played another great game, and they were the most consistent line throughout the day, which is also a problem, but they were the most consistent line. And that's where you get to, of course, more of the issues that, yet again, lackluster performance, top 6-wise, or top 9, if you will, which they got better as the game progressed offensively, and I'm not going to take that away from them, but the first period, vomit-worthy. They were doing pretty much nothing offensively. Getting in on the forecheck, don't know what that is. They were not doing that. There was no puck support. They were hardly moving it up the ice in general. And when they were in the offensive zone, it was all one and done chances. Like, you look at the Filipino chance early in that game, one and done. You look at some of the chances like Panarin getting one in the slot, one and done right there. Instead of applying the pressure and getting going, they got better as that went along. That third line in particular too was just gross in the first period. I thought they got better as the game went along, and you saw it because they ended up getting on the board, of course. But regardless, the problem is you have more of the same play in the defensive zone. You have more of the same of getting hemmed in. You have more of the same of lack of execution. I can't talk today. Lack of execution on the breakouts. Yet again, this team struggles to move the puck out of their own end, and the Islanders hem them pretty much the entire game, and it was a problem. They got outchanced, scoring chances-wise. They got outplayed in terms of puck possession, got outplayed in terms of high-danger chances. It was an ugly performance where yet again, Igor Shesterkin covered a lot of the flaws, whether it was making a big save on Bo Horvat on, a chance at the doorstep, whether it was Simplikov getting multiple opportunities in the slot to make big saves on him. There was a couple of other good opportunities for Horvat. Nelson had a post opportunity too at one point in this game. McLean had a clean look in the slot at one point. Like, there was just way too much, again, loud chances, as Laviolette calls it. And then Noah Dobson, too. I mean, that chance that they allowed Keandre Miller, just inexcusable the way he played there. And yet again, I'm left feeling more of the same, where I don't feel any better than I did after the game against Ottawa. I just don't. I'm sorry. You played an AHL level team today because of how depleted they are with injuries, and you did what you're supposed to do. You got the 2 points, but for a team that was so insistent of, we're going to bounce back and we're going to play better in our own end and we need to be better in front of our goalie, I didn't see any of that today. And that's where I really am aggravated the most with that, is where is the urgency on that front? Where is the better play in front of the goalie? I didn't see any of that today. Maybe offensively they got better, because again, I thought offensively they were fine, but I would hope that you're doing good when you have scrubs like Grant Hutton not knowing whether or not to pinch, and here come the Rangers the other way for an odd man rush. I would hope that you're taking advantage of opportunities there. And then their power play is pathetic too. I mean, that shorthanded goal that they got in the first period, Chris Kreider, beautiful work there, Zibanejad. Beautiful pass by him there. Shorthanded opportunity. A little bit of a give and go there. And then Chris Kreider scored to open the scoring. And that was pretty much it for the first period. That sums up the way the first period went. Because like I said, they generated virtually nothing in that first period offensively outside of the shorthanded opportunity. It was very underwhelming. And then you get to the second period and start off a little bit slow yet again, which again, the slow starts in this game, problematic, but start off a bit slow, and then they score not too long after I was ready to throw things, as Noah Dobson and Sam Bolduc don't know what the fuck they're doing, and Riley Smith's able to get the puck, give it to Vinny Trocheck, who snipes it, makes it 2-0, and then unfortunately the Rangers did the typical, we score, we're up 2-0, let's take the foot off the gas pedal here. The Islanders continue to apply the pressure, and then Igor leaves a juicy rebound at one point for Cizikas to bury home. Panarin, though, would score on the power play at least later, because the refs just made this a clinic in terms of how much they were calling. I mean, there was garbage on both ends of the ice, considering you had the Lee one, which that was terrible that they called a penalty on Lee there when that interference. There was a couple of soft calls going the other way as well. This was not a well officiated game, but yeah, you had that goal, of course, from Panarin, which I did like the movement on the power play. I'm very much a fan of seeing some movement on the power play, because I've complained nonstop that there's just not enough of it going on, and it was nice to at least see some movement going on there. And Vinny Trocheck, of course, with that beautiful screen in front. Fox had that beautiful keep in beforehand as well, and that made it 3-1. And then again, unfortunately, foot off the gas. And then at the end of this period, they did the thing that makes me the most aggravated, that this team is notorious for doing. So there was a play on the boards that could have been maybe called a penalty on Noah Dobson, where Phil Petel got a little hooked. And instead of playing to the whistle, you have this team doing what they typically do, which is throw their arms up and wait for the refs to make a call instead of playing to the whistle. And what do you know? It backfires in the ass, because you have Keandre Miller not moving his damn feet. You have Phil Petel, who has to go and cover the net front with Brock Nelson, which I give him credit for at least trying. And then Jacob Trouba, I don't know what he's doing, trying to block a shot, block a pass on the 2-on-1, but terrible play all around. And Palmieri finds Nelson at the doorstep. That made it 3-2. And at that point, I was convinced they weren't winning this game. I'm like, you are playing so poorly against a depleted team. You are not doing anything virtually at 5-on-5. I mean, they were hemmed in their own end pretty much this entire game. And again, they got at least some better sustained offensive shifts. Like, I thought the third line, the Cooley, Trocheck, and Smith line looked a lot better that period. I thought the first line got a little bit more going that period. And the fourth line, of course, was really the best throughout the entirety of the game consistently. But I still felt it was a little lackluster. And then the third period was, again, meh. Like, they ended up scoring in the period. Adam Edstrom had one go off of his ass, like the first time they got sustained pressure, really, that period. Panarin had that empty netter, of course, and that was pretty much the game. The Islanders, though, had a lot of good looks at the end of the game. And yet again, for a team that told us for how much they wanted to be better in front of their goalie, I did not see any difference at all from the Ottawa game. And if anything, I saw worse, because they gave up a lot more quality opportunities in this game than they did versus Ottawa. The only difference is the Islanders don't have the roster right now to score on those opportunities. And Igor Shesterkin, of course, being the goalie he is, making the saves that he does, because there was just way too much going on. Way too much. And I appreciate what they did offensively at points in this game, especially the second period, but I'm still left feeling this one underwhelmed. left feeling underwhelmed. And in terms of if you want to get to the chart of this game, courtesy of Hockey Stat Cards, which I do like to, of course, look at these. This really gives you a good idea of who performed well, who didn't, even though I don't think Mika played as well as the chart indicates. I thought Panarin and Lafreniere really were driving most of the efforts on that line, and Mika kind of looked lost at points. And there was an opportunity late too where him and Fox were starting to create something, and then Mika, I don't know what he was doing with the passing there, but either way, they were all right. And then Schneider and Jones, it's not even a surprise that they were the best pair today. It really isn't, considering the fact that you look at the bottom of the chart and you see guys like Fox, you see guys like Miller, you see guys like Lindgren and Trouba, and again, it's really to no surprise. You have Adam Fox, who just was taking delay of game penalties left and right, complaining to the refs at points as well, where he fell on his feet, wasn't even touched, and they didn't call a penalty. He's whining to the refs, and there was that odd man rush, of course, the other way. I think that was the one where Horvat had the chance at the doorstep from Holmstrom, but the top four was not good defensively. The top four was not good one bit yet again, and I was not a fan of the way this team looked with some of the line changes. Like, the fourth line was fine. VC first game back, a little invisible, but fine. Edstrom, obviously, towards the top because he looked good. Carrick was okay for the most part, but the middle six, in my opinion, was really, really streaky today. I thought that the second line of Kreider, Hedel, and Kakko faded as the game went along, and I thought the third line got better a little bit as the game went along, so it was a little bit weird in that sense, but either way, just, again, not the effort that you want to see against a depleted team. You get the win, but just not the complete effort that you would like entirely, considering the fact that they were hemmed in their own end, 37 shots against. The Islanders controlled the puck way too much, in my opinion. But, hey, you got the 2 points. You got the 2 points. I'm trying to see what else there is in terms of what I missed looking back at the notes here, of course. But I think I pretty much tackled everything on that front. I just wish they capitalized more on the fact that the Islanders were pinching. Like, their defensemen were really getting aggressive at points in this game, and they just didn't capitalize as much as I would have liked, especially if you are going to get one and done chances. And I get Sorokin's good in his own right, but would have liked to have seen more there, because the first period, I mean, that was rough. They just were not getting it on the forecheck, and they just looked slow. Second period, like I mentioned, at least they looked better offensively. And then the third period was just meh. I just think they're still better to be had here, but I get that it's not going to be what people want to hear. I get it, and again, you don't have to listen if you don't want to hear that. So it is what it is, but that is going to sum up, I think, everything that I have to mention, and I'll get to the chat and see what you guys are saying. But yeah, leave a like if you haven't, subscribe, all that stuff. Let's see what's going on, even though I don't expect many people to be here on a day where football's being played and all that other stuff right now. But love when we beat the Fish Six. Yeah, it's always good to beat the Islanders. Good win, better. Still sloppy. I'm not a fan of Miller. He's just sloppy. Miller had a very bipolar game today. Like, there were plays where I wanted to compliment him on a stick checking play he made, and then all of a sudden he loses the puck, and then there's a rush the other way and breakaways the other way for Horvat. Yeah, he's just way too up and down. He's just way too inconsistent, and that's really been the Achilles heel with Miller his entire career thus far. Miller, terrible again. Jones proved why he should be a regular. I agree. I think if you're going to make changes, then Lindgren or Miller should be scratched, but we know that's not going to happen. Fox, I'm sorry, is a Norris fraud. Hockey Dad coming in with a bold take. Playing some 6 teams during COVID, such a lazy defenseman. Miller needs to be traded while he has the league bamboozled. No idea how to play defense. I do agree that Fox has not been impressing me thus far as of late. I do think he's been underwhelming, but I don't know if I could fully get behind that because we have seen him still play at an elite level before, but I do agree with the sense that he has not been playing great lately. I mean, I can't argue that one. Carson, that's me, yeah. With the hot but not so hot take, if you will. Good win, but the Jets game will be a big test. I agree there. Good to get, yeah, like you just said before, yeah. Completely limited the production of Laughing Bread. I agree with that. I get that he had the 3 assists, but none of it at 5-on-5. Listen over the radio and did not watch the game. How did the change lines look on TV? Like the 4th line was good. The third, like I said, the 3rd line got better as the game progressed. The 1st line was kind of like I thought they could have done better. And the 2nd line started off all right, but then faded as the game went along. What were the line changes? I will pull up the image so I don't have to read everything. I do have to hide your comment here, though. Actually, not really, because you could still see. But this was the lineup. Pause the screen if you want to take a longer look at it, because I got to get to see what you guys are saying in the chat. But this was the lineup for today's game. So pause if you wanted to look at it there. But yeah. As far as Laviolette goes, he's the best option we have. He's better than Gallant and Quinn. It's the core that needs to step up. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I am curious what Laviolette is saying about this game, but who the hell knows? I agree with what, I forgot who it was on Twitter, but someone said that the worst case scenario with this game would be the Rangers thinking they fixed the issues because they won, because I didn't see anything noticeably improved really in today's game, but I don't see any post-game quotes yet, so I guess they're still meeting with Laviolette, and we have to wait on that. Fox looks awful. Miller turned it over multiple times. Schneider was better. Lindgren just puck watches. Zach Jones, marry me. Pretty much the perfect breakdown of how the defense played, yeah. And it's annoying how Fox has looked because of, like, we know he's capable of way better, but the thing with him complaining to the refs is always something that has annoyed me about him, and that's honestly something that has annoyed me with this team in general, but what do I think? I can't answer that. I got no clue. More of the same, special teams and Igor. Pretty much, yeah. Another one of those games. Take the W. We were 8-2-1 this time last year. Thoughts on the new lines? You pretty much said how I feel. Yeah, like, it's pretty much more the same. The special teams, again, prevailed for the Rangers, and you take the win, but again, like, this is where I sit here and argue that I just want them to develop a better process, because you're still going to get the wins when you have Igor in goal. So develop better habits in front of the goalie. Eagles winning right now. Good to know, because I'm not even going to get to watch most of the game today. I'm going to try to watch a bit of it, but what was the final score? Missed the game. It was 5-2. High danger chances, 14-10. Islanders way too much. 7 came in the second, 3 in the first, 4 in the third. Felt like pond hockey and a goalie showcase. Pretty much how I would sum up the game, yeah. In terms of the pond hockey aspect of that. But yeah, they gave up way too much to a team that is depleted. I mean, hey, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, listen, if you're happy that they won, be happy. I am just not going to sit here and pretend that I'm, yay, everything's improved. I don't know. I agree with you, Dane, on that one. I agree. Igor surprisingly didn't have to work as hard, even though I don't know if I agree with that. I thought he had to make a lot of competitive saves. Can't be too mad at the win. Penalty kill was good once again. I mean, I agree with the special teams part and everything, and the slow start, but I don't know if I could agree with that. I thought Igor had to stop a lot of quality shots once again, but I just saw one of the post-game quotes. Mika Zibanejad on today's effort. One of our most solid games all season. I could look at it in a way where we have a record of 8-2-1 and we think we could play better. I would say it's a good problem to have. I got nothing to say to that. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't read that. Yeah, the careless giveaway by Miller was a problem. That was a problem. There was a couple of the same mistakes that he's been making time in and time out. Be the team we should. Big whoop. I feel the same as you, Thomas. I'm with you on that one. Is it me or is it anytime Zibanejad is about to get hit, he easily gives up the puck? I agree with that. I do think there is that aspect that he is afraid of contact every now and then, and it's not good, but I don't know. Again, I'm not, like, I can't continue to beat a dead horse here. That's just me. Like, I'm at a point where it's, what are you going to say anymore? What are you going to say? How long is Jones going to sit now? If he sits after this game, I'm going to be so livid. I mean, if they think it's a great win, if they think this was one of their best wins, then why would Zach Jones sit? I want to see if any more quotes from the post game come out here. Zach Jones about his confidence, knowing Igor's behind him. Pay the man. Pauses for laughter. He's the best goalie, hands down. There's nobody as good as Igor. Well, can't fully agree with him, but if that's what he said, then I don't know. I got nothing to say to that, but I expect him to say that, so it's just one of those things where it's like, I expect it. But yeah, in terms of the upcoming schedule, because who is next? Who is even next? Yeah, I saw the Mika quote. Marvin. Who is coming up next on the schedule? Isn't it Buffalo? Yeah, Buffalo on Thursday. Thank goodness there's a 3-day break. I could definitely use a 3-day break. Then they played Detroit, Winnipeg, San Jose. All right. So a couple of other teams in there you should beat, like Buffalo and San Jose. Definitely should be beating up on those teams. Let's see. I'm trying to wait for more post-game quotes to come out, but I don't know if we're going to get any more, really. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going now. But yeah, I'm going to keep this a shorter one. It's a Sunday afternoon. I want to watch football. So that is going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you haven't already. Don't forget to subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live on the channel next. And I'll see you guys in the next one.